So good morning and good day, our dear colleagues and students. We are very pleased to meet all of you today and welcome to all participants of our conference. Our today meetings is devoted to the topic of nuclear education in Russia, and we are pleased to welcome our colleagues from different countries of Southeast Asia and our dear students who are interested in education and development in this field. So I want to thank you, Rosatom concern, also for the constant support of our efforts in promoting education in Russian universities in the field of non-power nuclear applications that we will talk about today. And as we know, nuclear applications are applied in more and more areas in our life. And today our speakers, the professors of leading Russian universities will join us and explain in their presentations all these topics. So please, I would love to give the floor to the Secretary of Russian Federation on Philippines, Mikhail Alexandrovich Alexeyenko, please.
Yeah, good afternoon. Hi there, dear participants. I'm glad to welcome you to the online conference, Non-Power Nuclear Applications. Science doesn't stand still, and new methods of non-energy applications of nuclear technologies appear in our arsenal. The conference will be devoted to their review. You will hear reports from representatives of National Research Nuclear University, MEPhI, and Tomsk Polytechnic University. I can't stress enough the importance of getting an engineering education in the field of nuclear technologies and note that Rosatom is a world technology leader. I'm also happy to announce that you have an opportunity to receive a quality education in one of the leading universities in Russia under a quota, and of course for free. And now we can proceed to the implementation of the conference program. Good luck, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexandrovich. So, as a proceeding of our meeting, I would like to introduce the professor of MEPhI University, Udalova Alla Alexandrovna, and her presentation for the topic of non-power nuclear technologies.
Thank you and good day, dear participants, dear students. Thank you for introduction. And yes, my presentation is devoted to non-power applications. I'd like to give you a brief description of this field and show wide opportunities in this application which are possible today. So, first of all, let's understand what are non-energetic applications. For this, first of all, let me explain the energetic applications. The idea is that at nuclear reaction of spontaneous chain fission or at radioactive decay, which occurs spontaneously, in all these types of reactions, we have a release of huge amount of energy. And the first idea was to use this energy for our purposes. And one of the obvious applications is nuclear power engineering, where this energy released in nuclear reactions is utilized to generate heat, first of all, and then to convert it into electricity. So this is pure energetic electrical application. There are a lot of other energetic applications where I mean that we take energy. It could be just desalination of water, for example, where we use heat released in nuclear reactions. Or it could be such examples of applications at atomic batteries or radioisotope thermoelectronic generators, where energy released at spontaneous decay of radionuclides is utilized and helps us to provide a supply of electricity or heat in autonomous devices for a very long period of time. Imagine, for example, this battery that you need to change only once in 50 years, not every week. But my topic today is non-energetic applications. And in this case, we explore other properties of ionizing radiation and of radioactive materials, which are very unusual and specific. Among them, in first term, is ability of radiation to ionize materials, ability of this power to penetrate through different materials, and specific characteristics of radionuclides, which allow us to distinguish them from any other things. And today, these applications are very, very numerous. This is so broad field that while only studying in the university for several years, you can maybe understand all possible opportunities. So I hope to give you a review of it, and we'll start with food industry, because while this application, this field is very important for many countries. First of all, because as we know, we have unfortunately problems with food supply in many places, and we have unfortunately starving people in our planet. What is especially pity, today we produce enough food globally to provide every person on the earth, but because of such a stupid things as losses of 30% of all food produced due to microorganisms, due to logistics, due to just short shelf life of these products, we have leakage in food in many places. And ionizing radiation can help us in this sense. One of the most demanded application today in this field is food irradiation. Well, some people are quite scared by application of radiation for our food, but actually this is fantastic. You see on the screen on this slide basic types of food which are treated today with ionizing radiation to get rid of microorganisms and bacteria and different parasites in this food, and this way prolong shelf life of products. It is especially nice that we can treat not only fresh meat or fresh seafood, but also semi-ready or pre-packed and even frozen food. And in all these cases, ionizing radiation is very effective. And by the way, the Southeast Asia is among the leaders in this type of application in the world. Other example of utilization of radiation in food industry is sprouting delay with the help of ionizing radiation. To prolong shelf life, we can also apply it. Example is potato tubers here. Well, we all know that potato can germinate, given the sprouts, yeah, and in long run it will look like this, and of course it's already non-edible. So in this example, you see that if we store our potato at low temperatures, then in 5 months of storage, we will have a bit of sprouting in and very well outfit of potato tubers which were irradiated to prohibit these processes. But what is especially important here, and especially good for applications, is that when we use room temperature, then ionizing radiation can help us to keep our potato nearly unchanged for around half a year at room temperature. Can you believe in it? And of course, it is very commercially viable as we don't need to pay for electricity in this case. Sorry, there is some noise in our meeting. Would you put off microphones? Oh, well, one of the important things in food industry also are losses connected to insects, to pests. Also, I think that everybody is familiar with these problems. And traditionally, to fight against the pests, people use chemical tools, toxic chemicals. Of course, it's not very good. We understand that some rest of these chemicals will stay in our food and we will consume it. With the help of ionizing radiation, effect is much better. It penetrates through large amount of food and kill these insects very effectively without any contamination or pollution of our food, without contamination of the environment at the stage of production of chemicals as it happens usually. So this is also very, very good. Medicine and healthcare. This is the second very large field of non-energetic applications. And well, this is huge. I hope that in the next report, maybe you'll hear more about medical applications. I'll just show a couple of examples to well, give basic outfit of this field. So basically in medicine, we apply ionizing radiations for diagnostical purposes. And the first tool, the first application here is radiography, which now is used over 100 years. Yeah. There are, of course, modern development and so on. For example, today we all know a bit about computed tomography, which is in principle the same as radiography, and just other modern equipment is used, which helps us to take pictures of internal organs from different directions. And this way we can create 3D image in computer with very detailed resolution of this image. Also, yeah, on this type of diagnostics use external sources of ionizing radiation, and we illuminate our organs of a patient from outside. In other group of diagnostical procedures, we administer radiopharmaceuticals into organism of human and illuminate bodies from inside. I would say that, well, to some extent it can be explained as our radiopharmaceuticals travel inside the body like a small bulbs, giving light which penetrates through organs and tissues and is detected by special equipment. Well, so this is very modern and fastly developing field with also many new ideas to improve these applications with the purpose to decrease doses of exposure of human being. Also very important to focus these impacts on certain organs. Today, so-called targeted medicals are used, which go inside an organism to a certain point, not irradiating the whole organism, but studying, giving us diagnostical information about certain location in organism. And also similar approaches are used for therapeutic purposes, not for diagnostical, but for therapeutic purposes. And first of all, of course, ionizing radiation and radionuclides are applied against cancer diseases, against tumors. And in this case, we also need our bulbs traveling in organism, but now we'd like not just observe processes inside an organism, but we'd like to kill tumor cells. This is why I show these bulbs red, hot, and very powerful and energetic. And again, the ideas of targeted carriers are used here to deliver radiopharmaceuticals to certain desired place in organism. Ideas of focusing or targeting of ionizing radiation is also introduced into the field of external irradiation. As example, this gamma knife tool, which is also in use already over 50 years, I think, right? And so in this case, this tool is used against brain tumors. And so if you have tumor somewhere in brain, with traditional surgery, you understand what is it. This is very severe operation surgery with opening scalp, with deep anesthesia, and with long period of recovery operation. In the case of gamma knife, it is very simple. Yeah, there are sources of cobalt-60 in this device. And their beams are configured so that they cross at the proper place in brain, creating very large dose of radiation in this place where the tumor is located. So there is no surgery, there is no even anesthesia. And the procedure can take sometimes only several minutes, sometimes maybe half an hour or 40 minutes, depending on the severity of cancer. And a patient can stand off of this couche and go home. So really fantastic. And there are also developments and promotion in application of other types of radiation for similar purposes. One of the most modern application is proton therapy, where for the same purposes as in gamma knife, not gamma rays, but charged particles, protons. And essential advantage of proton therapy is so-called Brecht peak. This is such a specific phenomenon that ionizing particles, when they penetrate through material or through living tissue, at first they nearly not absorbed. This is a depth in tissue, yeah. A particle penetrates tissue without absorption of energy. And the most part of energy is absorbed at certain depths. And we can regulate these depths, this place where energy will be deposited. So we can get our tumor at different depths and kill it with very high efficiency, with very low damage to healthy tissues. On the photos, you can see this proton accelerator here with this linear path through which a beam of protons is extracted from this equipment. And the next room, behind this wall, there is a patient which is treated in this beam. While not only direct medical applications are important, radiation technologies can help us in other fields attached to medicine. For example, we need sterilization of different equipment and disposable medical products. And the high level of sterility is very important in this sense. So you see from this slide, this idea of radiation sterilization, which is used today everywhere in the world. And radiation sterilization is considered as a gold standard in the field of sterilization, because we can reach the highest levels of sterility with very low cost of this procedure and huge output and very high speed of performance. For example, when COVID-19 started several years ago, our facilities in Russia equipped with linear accelerators were reoriented for sterilization of medical masks. And you see one accelerator, one facility could give such a huge impact, several million masks per week with unique level of sterility. Other interesting application is sterile insect technique. So in this case, we also fight against insects, which could serve as pests for agriculture, for cattle breeding, and also for human health. The idea of the method is very smart. We irradiate insects breeded in special plants to provide sterility to them. Usually male sterility is induced. And then these sterile insects are released into the wild environment where they mate with females and they have no progeny. So the population amount decreases fantastically and dramatically in a few days or in a few weeks. First impressive application of this method was realized in United States, where they had huge problems with screwworm fly. So it was in South states of United States where they do cattle breeding, and their losses because of diseases of these animals, you see, were several, $200 million per year. Huge, yeah. So with introduction of sterile insect technique, they could get rid of this screwworm fly. Sorry, and up to now, over 50 years, or 70 years already, they have no screwworm fly in this territory anymore. This technique was also applied against tsetse fly. Also, I hope that everyone knows about this very bad insect, which can cause severe diseases in humans. And in Africa, this is a real problem. Well, application of this technology showed very good results there. And also in agriculture, SIT is used against fruit fly, which does a lot of harm to fruit and vegetable production in different countries. You see the list of countries. It includes over 20 countries today where they successfully applied this technique, and in Southeast Asia also. And new development in this field concern application of seed against mosquito, which serve as a carrier of viruses of different severe diseases. All right, a few words about such an interesting field as new materials. Again, this is a very large field, and I'll show only one example, nevertheless very popular today and in very high demand. This is cross-linking of polymers with the help of ionizing radiation. From the illustration, I hope you can understand that what is it. Yeah, with ionizing radiation, we can easily break chemical bonds because energy of charged particles or of gamma rays is much larger than energy of chemical bonds. And the open ends, they stick to each other, forming additional ties, additional bonds between molecules. So our irradiated material becomes more tolerant to different types of impacts. This industry is so interesting because these new materials can have absolutely new properties which was impossible to obtain with traditional tools. And actually, we deal with products of cross-linking every day. And today, for production of such things as cables and wires and plumbing pipes and thermoshrinkable materials, I'm sure that you use some of these things every day. Actually, modern manufacturers use radiation for this cross-linking. And also in the field of polymers, in the field of resins, it is used also for vulcanization of resins. And all best automobile tire producers use today radiation vulcanization instead of traditional sulfuric vulcanization, which is environmentally unfriendly and toxic and very bad for staff working there. You see other products. I'd like to mention gloves, for example, improved with the help of radiation. These gloves can withstand ionizing radiation themselves. Well, next group of examples is about the application of ionizing radiation for scientific researches. I will show only a few examples again, but this is most attractive and exciting field of applications because with open mind, we can find so many ideas and implement them. So just about radioisotopes, there is a known phenomenon of radioactive decay, which is described by this law of radioactive decay of isotopes. And for every isotope, this law is absolutely known, and every isotope works like a. So, with measuring the amount of radioisotope left in our sample after some period of time, we can understand the initial amount of isotope, or we can understand the age of this sample. And this for radioisotopic dating. Many examples exist. I like this one in the middle of last century in some bog in Europe. They found such a body. It is called Toland Man because the place was close to the village called Toland. The body was in pretty good state, so that sometime local police even looked for a killer. But then later, with the help of radiocarbon dating, it was shown that the age of this body is over 2000 years. And also applying X-ray examination, like our regular survey at hospitals. Yeah, they could investigate internal organs of this man and found rests of cereals in his stomach, which means that the day before the death, he was eating muesli. While also isotopes could be used in this dating, these atomic clocks could be used for other studies. For example, we can investigate processes in hydrology. Water supply, fresh water supply today is a very urgent question in many places around the world. And we explore underground resources. To be on the safe side, we need to know processes in these underground reservoirs. We need to understand how fast they can renovate these resources. Here, naturally occurred isotopes are used. And for example, tritium, with its half-life of 20 years, is present in fresh water, which age in young water, yeah, which age is less than 100 years. If we see the water which doesn't contain tritium, it means that this reservoir is formed over 100 years ago. What is exact age we can find with other isotopes having different half-lives. And in this way, we can plan exploration and exploitation of these valuable resources. A very interesting and very promising tool is the application of the method of isotopic traces. The idea is so clever and nice, I very like it. Every isotope looks as every isotope has its own properties, which is unique for this isotope. Among them is half-life of this radionuclide and energetic spectrum emitted at its spontaneous decay. And for detectors, for equipment, it looks like different colors, similar as we see colors by our eyes. And for example, water, a molecule of water with two chemical elements in. Actually, there are 3 isotopes of hydrogen. And for our detectors, they look like different colors. And so we can follow on these isotopes and understand origin of this water, because in different places, proportion between 3 isotopes is different. So this is the simplest explanation, and today it is used for many chemical elements and many isotopes. And there are a lot of interesting things. Method of isotopic traces is applied today to study dynamical processes in different fields. It could be environmental processes. It could be study of behavior of animals, insects, and so on. It could be study of contaminants migration in the environment, or metabolic processes in our organism for diet, for health purposes, and so on. And at last, a few examples which I think are very fascinating because open new ideas how traditional method could be applied for unusual tasks. So radiation sterilization, it could be used not only for food or medical masks. See this example with the preservation of world heritage. This is mummy of Ramses II, quite famous, aged 7,000 of years. But unfortunately, in last century, it was infected by some bacteria, and there was a threat to lose this heritage. But after application of ionizing radiation, it was sterilized and returned to its life, or I don't know, to its death. And we can save it for many other years. Application of radiation against insects can be also used in World Heritage preservation. You see these beautiful buildings. These are Russian historical monument wooden churches. They look like, I don't know, castles from fairy tale, yeah? And they are absolutely wooden. There is no nails there. It is wooden work. Of course, there is a threat from termites to this. And the application of radiation disinfestation is considered this way. Similar challenges exist everywhere around the world, especially in tropical and warm regions. And also this too can be applied. And well, this example, it is about known historical event of eruption of volcano, Vesuvia. And this art piece shows us the death of Pompeii, the last day of Pompeii. And you know, after 2,000 of years buried under volcano ash, Pompeii were discovered again and studied by scientists. But not many people know that close to Pompeii, there was another city, scientific city called Herculaneum. And they had their wonderful library. Papyruses appeared saved under the ash during these 2,000 of days. Difficult to believe, but it's so. And of course, today it's very interesting to read these papyruses. So the idea is to create a three-dimensional image of these papyruses with the help of ionizing radiation, like computer tomography. And then already in computer, unwrap these texts and read them. And well, I think this is the last example in my presentation today. Isotopic markers could be used to reveal elemental composition of samples and also origin of these samples, because the ratio of isotopes is unique for every place in our planet. And this method is called method of isotopic fingerprints. And one example of application is this one of fight food fraud. Yeah, the idea is clear. There are many such scenes when very expensive luxury products which cost huge money can be fraud, yeah, by criminals. So with the help of neutron activation analysis, difference can be revealed. And there is a list of such products. Mali, jasmine rice. Maybe you know better how well is it. I have no idea why it is so expensive. And there are also other products like specific coffee or truffles. And again, ionizing radiation are used for criminalistic studies. So I hope that you found something interesting in my presentation, and maybe you will be charmed like me by this unusual field, this so promising, so interesting applications and ideas which can become the sense of your life. If you are interested and would like to be involved in this field, of course, you need to get specific education, and Russian universities can give you such opportunity. As was said in introduction, we have 3 quarters and invite students from different countries. I represent here National Research Nuclear University, Moscow Engineering Physics Institute, MEPhI in short. This is a photo of Moscow campus, and we have also branch in Obninsk, which is located less than 100 kilometers from Moscow. This is Moscow suburban, actually. And many international students study in Obninsk campus. Our university has different education programs, different directions of education. I represent this Institute of Nuclear Power and Engineering. And here we have a number of specialties aimed at training of students for nuclear field. So you see, we have today international students for many countries. About 80 countries are presented. We have students in different levels of education, mostly in bachelor and also in master levels, but we have also PhD and so on. In these 2 slides, I placed information about our education programs in nuclear field, where quotas of Rosatom could be used. You see in this the list of bachelor programs in these 2 umbrella groups, nuclear power engineering and thermal physics and nuclear physics and technologies. And here are programs for so-called specialists programs, which are 5 and 5.5 years of duration. We train our students in Russian mainly, but we have also some English programs which are indicated here in orange. By the way, I am a supervisor of this program in English and this in Russian. And next slide is about master programs. So the same ideas, several groups of specialties. There are Russian and English programs. And as I already started, I showed that this is my programs where I am supervisor in Russian and English. They will be very happy to have students from your country in our university. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alexandrovna. It was very interesting presentation. I hope our students also were impressed, the same like we are. So many fields in our life where we use every day nuclear applications, and I even didn't know about this. So it was very interesting. Thank you very much. If our students have some question, I hope they will not hesitate to ask you in private chat. So our next speaker, Vera Viktorovna Verkhaturova. Welcome. Happy to see you again. From Tomsk Polytechnic University, professor, and Vera Viktorovna will present her own work to your attention, please.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, is it okay? Do you hear me? Yeah, okay. I will switch on the presentation that I would like to share with you today. Professor Udalova has given you a perfect overview on the peaceful use of nuclear technologies and application of these technologies. I would like to, today in my presentation, I would like to focus on the facilities that are needed to use these technologies. So that is why my presentation is named Non-Power Application of Nuclear and Radiation Technologies based on the facilities. So first of all, so is it okay the presentation is listed? Okay.
Викторовна, она у вас не развернута в полный экран.
Я вот не могу понять, как ее развернуть, да, потому что с другого компьютера работаю.
Я обычно сначала разворачиваю, а потом открываю сюда. В Zoom или куда.
Сейчас, наверное, не соображу. Ну, окей. Okay, let's work in this way because a new computer for me. So, first of all, the thing is, the majority of peaceful application of nuclear technologies is connected to the use of nuclear research facility. And here we have to define what is nuclear research facility and what are in general the main types of the facilities. There are two main types of nuclear facilities. The first type of the facility is named NPP, nuclear power plants. And this facility is needed to produce electricity, to produce power. Nuclear research facilities, such as nuclear research reactor, for example, is impossible to be used to produce power, but on the other hand, it can be used for the application of peaceful nuclear technologies or non-power application of technologies. And in this regard, we can say that nuclear research facility is of the same importance as NPP's nuclear power plants. Here on the slide, you can see a short and simple definition of what nuclear research facility is. No matter what we are talking about, nuclear power plants or nuclear research facilities, the thing is that all of these types of facilities are connected to the ionizing radiation. Very often, when we hear a word radiation, we are getting scared because there is a stereotype that radiation is extremely dangerous thing. But in fact, it's not true because on this slide, you can see that there are different types of radiation, and some of these types of radiation are unnatural, and we are living surrounded by radiation, and we just don't know about it. So, could be electromagnetic radiation, ionizing radiation, direct and indirect, particulate radiation, etc. So, and in a case of proper protection, all these types of radiation are completely safe. As you see that here on the slide, you see that there are some types of ionizing radiation because nuclear facilities are connected to ionizing radiation. But some of these types of radiation can be easily stopped with even a list of paper, a sheet of paper, or aluminum plate, such as alpha particles radiation or beta particles radiation. Maybe the most strong radiation, which is named neutron radiation, also can be stopped, but in this regard, we need a concrete. But anyway, all of the types of radiation, in a case of proper protection, are not dangerous for people. This is the most important thing. Then, coming back to nuclear research facilities, because as I have already said, peaceful application of nuclear technologies and radiation technologies is connected to nuclear research facilities, but not NPPs. There are three types of nuclear research facilities. It is subcritical stand, the smallest type of research facility. And here on the photo, you can see, for example, the subcritical stand, which belongs to Greece. Critical stands, this is quite bigger facility. And the biggest one, nuclear research reactors. So in our university, we have operating nuclear research reactor, and on the photo, you can see the research university. And then I will tell you about the peaceful nuclear applications that are implemented with the use of our nuclear research reactor. All research reactors can be classified in several groups. For example, we can classify them by their flux density, neutron flux density, or neutron flux spectrum. We can classify them by their operating mode, such as pulse reactors, pulsating, etc. And the most maybe are important for us here is the classification of these facilities by their use and appointment: physical research, material science research, isotopes production. And if we look at all the research facilities, nuclear research facilities in the world and their use, we can see that teaching and training is the most popular use of these reactors, because such reactors is a perfect tool and perfect instrument to be trained. Then activation analysis, isotope production, material irradiation, etc. And in the next slides, we will focus on all of these applications shortly. So, isotope production. Professor Udalova already described this direction of peaceful use of nuclear research facilities, and maybe it is the most peaceful use in our world, because nuclear research facilities, nuclear research reactors, and accelerators such as cyclotrons are used to produce medical isotopes, and these medical isotopes are used to fight with cancer for radiation therapy and radiation diagnostic. Here on the slide, you can see the examples of medical isotopes that can be produced with the use of nuclear research facility. On this slide, we have divided the examples of these isotopes are in accordance with the type of the reactor. As you remember, at one of the previous slides, we saw that there could be different types of the reactors because the flux, reactor flux. And here on the slide, you can see that even low flux reactors can be used to produce medical isotopes. Medium flux reactors can be used to produce a wider range of medical isotopes. Higher flux reactors, the same. So all research reactors can be used to produce medical isotopes. This is maybe the most peaceful application of these facilities. There is one more application of nuclear research reactors, which is named transmutation effects. And on this slide, you can see the example of the use of this technology. This technology is perfectly used in the field of gemstone colorization. And on the photo, you can see topazes. You know that gemstones in the nature, for example, topazes nowadays, do not have such nice color that you can meet in jewelry shops. Usually in jewelry shops, they have very nice blue color, but in the nature, they have gray color, not bright color. We take these gemstones, untreated gemstones, put in the research reactor, and after some time, these gemstones, they can get the color which is demanded by jewelry industry. So the same technique we can use for diamonds, for example, and diamonds can be treated to get nice shape and nice color, not in the research reactors, but for example, in radioactive facilities, accelerating facilities such as cyclotron. One more application of transmutation techniques, and this is extremely important application, which is named silicon transmutation doping. You see that this application is highly demanded by semiconductors industry. If you want to develop our solar energy facilities, wind energy facilities, electrical car industry, you can't do it without doped silicon, because it is
Sorry for a minute. I think some technical problems with our connection with Vera Viktorovna. Maybe she will recharge.
Well, excuse me, because the internet is not stable here. I will continue if you do not mind. So food irradiation, it is also very peaceful application of nuclear technologies because if you want to make the duration of the use of different spices, fruit, beans, etc., very often we need to use irradiation for these products because it will help us to kill dangerous insects, as Professor Udalova already described in details. So that is why I will not spend much time on it. I will just make a short overview. So here on the slide, you can see the main purpose of food irradiation. What for we use it? So we use it to kill dangerous insects or dangerous biological organisms to make this food, to keep this food for more time. And here you can see the examples. For example, meat. Our raw meat has a lot of dangerous microorganisms which are not killed sometimes even during the cooking. If we use irradiation for this product, so we can kill the majority of dangerous microorganisms, and then the rest of them can be easily killed during the simple cooking. Here you can see the examples of food irradiation with different doses. For example, a very small dose, low dose of irradiation is enough to protect potato from dangerous microorganisms. On the first two photos, you can see the potatoes that were not irradiated, and as you see, they look not very nice. And on the third and on the fourth photo, you can see quite nice potatoes, because these potatoes were successfully irradiated with a very low dose of irradiation, and now they can be kept for much more time. The same is about spices. You see that with a low dose of irradiation, we can make a life duration of different grains, cereals, coffee beans, even dried fruits much longer, because the low dose of irradiation will help us to kill here not microorganisms, but insects that can live among these cereals. With a medium dose of irradiation, we can protect, for example, strawberry from rotten. On the first photo, you can see not irradiated strawberry, and as you see, it looks terrible because it is completely rotten. And on the second photo, you can see the strawberries that were irradiated, and it looks nice, and it can be kept for some time, and it can be even exported to the neighboring countries. Then, one more example, spice irradiation. With a medium dose of the radiation, we can kill insects that like to live among the spices, and we can make the life duration of the spices longer. So, to sum up, there are some nuclear and radiation facilities that can be used for this peaceful application of nuclear technologies: medicine, food protection, or even ecology and biology, as Professor Udalova already told you about. Here on the photo, you can see all these facilities that belong to our university. I can say that we are proud of the fact that in our university there is a full range of all these facilities. And in my next slides, I will tell you about real nuclear and radiation application of these technologies based on our facilities. So the first facility, nuclear research reactor. Here on the slide, you can see the description of our reactor. It is quite powerful reactor, 6 megawatt reactor. So the things that we successfully implement at this reactor. So we develop technologies to produce new diagnostic and therapeutic radiopharmaceuticals, medical isotopes. We develop a technology of neutron capture therapy. A little bit later, I will tell you about it. So we do our transmutation doping of silicon for higher current semiconductor technologies, radiation material science, etc. So there is one more facility. It is not nuclear facility, but it is accelerating and radiation facility, which is named cyclotron. If we compare the sizes of these facilities, of course, cyclotron is smaller than nuclear research reactor. But if you look at the application fields, you can see that this is extremely useful facility, because we can use cyclotron also to get medical isotopes, to treat cancer, to produce polymer membranes and metal nanostructures, and to do fundamental studies. And the third facility may be the smallest one in comparison of all the three facilities. It is also not nuclear, but radiation facility, Betatron. It is very compact facility, but if you look at the areas of application of this facility, you can see that it is extremely important for medicine, for tomography of industrial equipment and buildings, even for film and digital radiography of welded joints. So what radiopharmaceuticals we do produce at our reactor? So we produce medical isotopes that are highly demanded not only by oncology, but as you see on the slide, the medical isotopes that are produced at nuclear research reactor can be used to treat heart diseases, for diagnostic of kidney diseases, liver scintigraphy, etc. So that is why the importance of production of medical isotopes is extremely higher. And as I already said, maybe it is the most peaceful application of nuclear technologies. Here on the slide, you can see two formulas of production medical isotopes. In the first part of the slide, you can see the production of medical isotopes with the use of nuclear research reactor. This is maybe the most widespread radiopharmaceutical technetium-99 generators that are used globally in all oncological hospitals. Tomsk Polytechnic University has developed our own technology, and as you see, the final stage of this technology is named no radiation waste. So this technology is completely eco-friendly. And in the second part of the slide, you can see the formulas of production medical isotopes with the use of cyclotron, accelerating equipment. So, because as I have said, we can use radiation facilities such as cyclotron also to produce medical isotopes. Theranostic is one of the most prospective direction in this field, in the field of nuclear medicine technologies, where we can combine the isotopes, relative isotopes, to decrease the number of the medical procedures for the patient. And during the one procedure, we can make diagnostic, and then this isotope has therapeutic effect. Coming back to Betatrons, as you remember, you saw on the slide the smallest radiation facility, but this small radiation facility has very higher medical effect. So the therapy which is implemented with the use of this Betatron is named intraoperative radiation therapy. And as you see, look at the final line on the slide, just 1 minute of the use of Betatron and this therapy replace 5 weeks of traditional radiation therapy. Just imagine 1 minute and 5 weeks. So, and when we use this technique, when we use Betatron intraoperative radiation therapy, the efficiency is much higher in comparison with traditional radiation therapy. Neutron capture therapy It is not betatron-based therapy, but it is reactor-based therapy. So we can develop this technology only with the use of nuclear research reactors. You know that, unfortunately, a number of brain cancers are increasingly raising day by day. And very often when we hear the diagnosis brain cancer, we know that in 99% it's incurable. It's not be possible to be treated because you can't use traditional surgery, especially if a tumor is located deep in the brain, because if you use traditional surgery while reaching this tumor, you can damage healthy substances of the brain, and the effect to human body will be seriously negative. For the same reason, we can't use traditional radiation therapy, because when the neutron flux reaches this tumor, it will also damage our healthy brain substance, and also the effect will be very negative. So neutron capture therapy helps us to fight with such fatal types of cancer. It is boron-based therapy, and I can say that we successfully developed this technology at our nuclear research reactor already so we have piloting procedures for cats and dogs with brain cancers, and after these procedures, so the cats and dogs can live for more time as it was predicted for them before the procedure. And the final slide about our educational opportunities. We have bachelor degree program in nuclear science and technology. We have master degree program. Here on the slide, you can see the description of the program, and PhD program. So the heart, so we have the whole complex of the programs, but the heart of this complex is, of course, master degree program. All our programs are delivered in English, so you do not need to learn Russian before coming to the program. But during the program, you will learn Russian. That is why by the graduation time, all our students will speak fluently two languages, two professional languages, Russian one and English one. So if you choose master degree program, you can choose one of the three profiles: nuclear power engineering, to be reactor operator, to develop NPPs, etc. You can choose nuclear medicine, and in this regard, you will be trained at cyclotron, at nuclear research reactor, at betatrons, etc. And you can choose the third profile, which is named nuclear safety, security, and non-proliferation of the materials, which is extremely demanded nowadays to are in the field of accounting and control of nuclear materials, to protect nuclear facilities, to protect people from nuclear materials. So thank you for your attention. You are welcome to Tomsk. You are welcome to Tomsk Polytechnic University.
Thank you very much, Vera Viktorovna. It was very interesting. Now our students, I think, will see how many fields in our life we use nuclear energy every day, and even don't know about this. So they have a big choice of faculties in university, what fields they will choose to apply their skills and interests. So if our audience have some questions, they can ask in chat. Yes, maybe somebody want to say something, say. I would like to add if our students have some question about how to apply the documents and need some more information about Tomsk University and MEPhI University, they can contact us anytime, and we will support them, of course, how to reach their goals. Okay, I would like to thank you, our speakers, Alla Alexandrovna, Vera Viktorovna. Thank you very much for your support, for joining. We will be in contact with you after, and with our pleasure, we will send our students to you. Спасибо большое всем, thank you all participants, and have a good day. We will see you next time.
Thank you.